Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, as always, I'd like to start off giving all honor and glory and praise and worship to our power, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachahakodash. Double honors to our apostle, elder bishops, great millstone, we will. Peace, side taste to the hopeful elect. Alright, it's your brother Khadash, representing GMS branch here in Cleveland. Lord willing to bring out a quick and edifying lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Alright. And the title the Spirit gave me is something that I always reference. I might have even did lessons on it. But the truth is a lighthouse. I made reference to that at camp. I believe last camp or this camp. The camp that just passed or the week before that. The truth is a lighthouse. Okay, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai is our lighthouse. Alright. As you can see here as I'm clicking different pictures so you can understand what I mean. Just from a visual concept. What you see around this lighthouse is what? Nothing but darkness. Right? It stands tall. You visually can see it from a distance. And it's a beacon of light. Alright? And lighthouses are very important. Alright? When you're traveling in the ocean. Okay? It serves multiple purposes. So what I did was, I want to show you a couple things that I just put up. Alright, I want to show you what I mean through the spirit. And let me read this real quick. So what I did was I typed in how important is lighthouses. It says lighthouses are vital maritime safety backups in our digital age. Because when you dealing with maritime, you're dealing with talking about the ocean. Alright, dealing about the sea. While satellite navigation like GPS have revolutionized shipping, technology can fail or get lost in severe storms. Lighthouses provide a reliable visual reference. You see that? It provide a reliable visual reference point to confirm position, warn of deadly hazards, and safely guide vessels into port. As we're traveling, becoming pilgrims on the earth in the darkest times known to man. All right. We have to be guided. We have to have light to see in this darkness. This is damn, they didn't pull up Peter. Scripture say the day of the Lord is darkness, not light. All right. I don't know why this always do this, bro. I wanted to show you where it would put up multiple precepts, but this thing is on some other. Bear with me. Okay, so this is 2 Peter 3:10. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night. All right. The day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night. Thieves usually break in at night. All right. So we understand that let me just do this. Man, these apps is weak, bro. Let's just read the one at Amos 5:18. It says, woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. To what ends it for you? The day of the Lord is darkness and not light. See that? The day of the Lord is darkness and not light. So, so again, if the day of the Lord is darkness, all right, then and not light, then how will we make it? We have to have the wisdom, which is a beacon of light. That wisdom, first and foremost, is Yahweh Shai. It says, St. John 1:14, and the word was made flesh and dwelt among us, and we beheld his glory, and the glory as the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth. So the word became flesh, and then when you jump up, in him, verse 3, in him was life, and the life was the light of men. See? And the light shineth in darkness, and the darkness comprehended it not. So that's talking about our people, but Yahweh Shai is that light in it, let's jump down to 7. The same came for a witness, to bear witness of the light, that all men through him might believe. So it says he was not that light, but was sent to bear witness of that light, that was the true light, which lighteth every man that cometh into the world. So this light is Yahweh Shai. We read in 14, he was made flesh, right? That word, the word, okay, Yahweh's mind, he embodied his mind into a vessel known as Yahweh Shai. Yahweh's mind, Yahweh Shai was an is an extension of Yahweh, and we're an extension of Yahweh Shai. So we all have the same mind. We're all in the likeness of the mind of Yahweh. So that's all in relevance to that light. Okay, and that light is going to be the only thing that shines in the darkness to come. As we read, the day of the Lord is darkness and not light. You see, and then when you go to 1 Corinthians chapter 1 and verse 30, it says, but of him are ye in Hamashiach Yahweh Shai, who of the Most High is made unto us wisdom and righteousness and sanctification and redemption. So this wisdom, it will be our stability. How will we know this? Because it says it, Isaiah 33:6. In those times, you see, the wisdom is going to be our stability. The wisdom is in the embodiment of Yahweh Shai Hamashiach. Okay, he became our wisdom. He made unto us wisdom, righteousness, and sanctification and redemption. All right, in this same wisdom, St. John 12, see, and 46, I am come a light into the world, that whosoever believeth on me should not abide in darkness. See, so since darkness is coming, how will we make it? We have to abide in Yahweh Shai Mashiach. The truth is our lighthouse. So when you go to this lighthouse, lighthouses are vital maritime safety backup. Let's keep going where we was at. It says lighthouses provide a reliable visual reference point to confirm position. Right. So when darkness is in America, if you're being guided by the Spirit, if you're eating, if you're drinking, or if you're moving into safety, not just because, now you gotta understand, you're gonna have some brothers that are martyrs, all right, for the faith. That doesn't count. What I'm talking about is the things that the Lord promised: eating, safety, drinking, and so forth, miracles, all right, guidance, all right, the Spirit dealing with you, right, protecting us from harm and danger. That's gonna say, it says what? Confirm position. That's gonna confirm your position. It says, then it should be known who's my chosen when these things are brought upon us. Warn of deadly hazards and safely guide vessel is into port. Right. So the Lord, the light, is warning us of deadly hazards, such as what? Breaking in, violent break-ins, and angry mobs, and unjustified murders. Right. Those are danger hazards. These doctrines, philosophies, these are dangerous hazards. All right. That are harmful to our spirit. That's what the light do. It warns us of these things. The light has given us visual, or from a mental and physical standpoint and a spiritual standpoint, the eyesight to see the things that are done in the dark. Okay, that's what light do. It exposes the things that are in the dark. Okay, it says, Now, it says hazard warnings. Now, what I did was, let me see. All right, lighthouse. The purpose of lighthouses. The primary purpose of a lighthouse is to provide navigational aid. Whoo-wee. And assure the safety of ships at sea. So, right, meaning as we travel through this darkness, right? Because remember, America is known as the land of darkness. Job 10, and it's gonna get darker than this. And 21, before I go whence I shall not return, even to the land of darkness and the shadow of death, a land of darkness as darkness itself, and of the shadow of death without any order, and where the light is as darkness. You have to have visual, you have to have some type of light to navigate in Babylon, man. Right now, how much more in the darkest time? How much more in the day of the Lord? You got to be able to have Yahweh Shah as your safety, your guidance, right? Because look, hey, what is that? Proverbs. Let me see. Let me see. Because what it said, the name of the Lord. Proverbs 18 and 10. The name of Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai is a strong tower. The righteous runneth into it and is safe. See, the name of the Lord is a strong tower. The name of the Lord is a reputation. The name of the Lord is a vibration. The name of the Lord comes with a lot of things, man. All right. Safety, guidance, spiritual power. All right, and so forth. Salvation. Right, his image. That's his image, man. You hold his image. You're gonna fall in the good graces of the Lord, man. It says lighthouses serve as prominent landmarks, warning vessels of potential hazards such as rocky coastlines, sandbars, and reefs. All right. So what I did was I typed in what are the similarities. I typed in God's message is similar to a lighthouse. Right. So this is I never done this before, so I wanted to see what they brought up. It said that is a beautiful comparison. Just like a lighthouse, God's message is an unwavering beacon of hope that doesn't stop the storms of life, but rather provides a steady light to keep you safely anchored. Right? This is what the light do. It allows us to be guided within the confines of Babylon, right? The darkness of Babylon, but it allows us to be guided within this movement now and in the darkest time. It's going to get darker than this. You think grapes and unalivings and all this shit you've been seeing on the world right now, you think all this is something, but it's getting ready to be more gruesome than this. That's what Jacob's trouble is, man. All right, trouble. I often go into that word. When you go into that word trouble, it talks about a shaking, agitation, man. And it's going to be a mental agitation in this time. The light is the wisdom. See, trouble produce mental agitation or emotional turmoil. You see, inflict suffering on, make cloudy, disturb, stir up. That's a shaking. Mix. When you stir in a pot, that's a shaking of the things that's inside that pot. So the Lord's getting ready to shake the earth. He's getting ready to shake your mind, produce mental agitation. And agitation means what? A state of severe restlessness, mental distress, or irritability. And this is going to cause people to crash out. The love of many shall wax cold, as the scriptures say. So that beacon of light is Yahweh Shah Mashiach. All right. And you're going to have him to be our guide. See, let's go to Psalms 119 and 105. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. The word became flesh. That was Yahweh Shah Mashiach. He uphold the ways of Yahweh, and he's the light unto our path, the light unto my feet, the light that will guide us in darkness. Okay? Now and in the future. You see? It says The metaphor extends in a few powerful ways. Direction. A lighthouse eliminates the path to a safe harbor, guiding you away from danger. Consistency. Its light shines continuously through the dark nights and the thickest fog. That's what we read in St. John 12. Let's go back to that. St. John 12:46. I am come a light into the world, that whosoever believeth on me should not abide in darkness. Right? These people are going to abide in darkness. That's where they rest at. This is not our rest. We don't rest in darkness. We get through this darkness, right? And the only way you can move through darkness if you can see. All right? I used to always use that metaphor because I got the metaphor from the project I did when I was in college. I actually had to do it. We had to come up with a project. I forgot the main premise of the project, but to a way to I get it was something dealing with how to show light on my artist. So I had to show light in my artwork. I forget the premise of it, but what I did was I turned all the lights off in the house in my dorm. The everything, and then I had the only light on I had was in my bathroom. I had a bathroom inside my dorm room, and I cracked it just a little bit. I still got the picture to this day. I cracked it a little bit, and I let that light just do what it do. And wherever that light hit, that's what I drew. I drew everything. I drew what I saw in the darkness, and I can only draw. I was drawing inside the darkness, but the light overpowered what it was supposed to overpower just from that little crack. And that's what light does. Light overpowers the darkness. And darkness can overpower light if it's great enough. That's why it's going to be thick. People ain't going to be able to have light in that day, physically and spiritually. Darkness clouds Israelite mind from the light of Yahweh Shah Mashiach. So darkness can overpower light. Even if you think about night. Night comes in, it overpowers the day. And then when day comes back in, it overpowers the night. It just depends on what side you're on. You see? It says, so light shines continually through the darkness nights and thickest fog. That's likened unto Yahweh Shah Mashiach. This truth shines through all this darkness. It shines through all the darkness of Babylon Jews in the world. The wicked is ruling the earth, so it rests in complete darkness. It says, protection. It warns of hidden reefs and rocks, ensuring ships don't run aground. You see, and again, that's a likened unto these philosophies and these doctrines and these secret plots and schemes that these people have on us or trying to set for us. It gives us, the spirit is giving us warning. All right, it's giving us warning, and it's allowing us to see these things before they happen. All right, and to have spiritual insight of these things. We have spiritual insight on Esau councils, and we're not there. That's his reefs and rocks, and right. Talk about that. Rocks being thrown. I mean, on stony ground. I think it's in Mark 4, if I'm not mistaken. It choked the word, and you know what I'm saying. That's these different thoughts and opinions and philosophies and doctrines. You know what I'm saying. So that when you dealing with, when you till the ground, when you allowing the vine, you gotta allow the vines to breathe and grow. So you have to break up the ground and you have to remove the rocks. You can't have rocks where you're trying to grow something. You know what I'm saying? So rocks can be a hindrance to growth. All right, and it can cause a breakage. Like if certain rocks, hit your windshield while you're driving, certain things you run over, it can flatten your tire. So yeah, man, the light allows us to see those things so we can avoid them and go around them and not hit them, so we don't fucking collapse. If you're like, and then what I did was I put it into chat. God's message, same thing. God's message is similar to a lighthouse. That is a strong metaphor. A lighthouse doesn't create the ocean or stop the storms. It gives direction, warning, and hope in darkness. That's what the truth is giving us. Direction, warning, and hope in darkness. What's the hope? The hope to be saved when Jacob's trouble hits. It's that Wisdom of Solomon 3. says, but the souls of the righteous, verse 1, are in the hand of the Most High. You see that? The hand of the Most High is Yahweh Shai, Hamashiach. And there shall no torment touch them. In the sight of the unwise they seem to die, and their departure is taken for misery, and their going from us to be utter destruction, but they are in peace. For though they be punished in the sight of men, yet is their hope full of immortality. See? And having been a little chastised, they shall be greatly rewarded, for the Most High approved them and found them worthy for himself. So this is what you're getting ready to witness. That direction is right now. We're being directed. What? We're being directed to salvation. The safe house. The name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous runneth into it and is safe, as we read earlier. So we ran into the bosom of the Lord so that we could be protected from the storm to come. That's what lighthouses do. It warns you of incoming danger. We need to get to this harbor. We need to get to this lighthouse so that we can be protected from the storm. Okay, because the storm is coming. It's coming. Right? What's the storm? Esau. The scriptures tell you. Revelations 12:12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. Right? That's, you see? Hey, the sea, spiritual, because the sea can represent people. But we're talking about lighthouses and boats and shit. You see? You see how spiritual this things is? Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil has come down unto you having great wrath, because we're traveling, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. You see, the great wrath is Esau's persecution, man. He's coming with great wrath. Okay? He's coming with great wrath. And what's this wrath? Isaiah 59. It's Isaiah 59. And this is his great wrath right here. 19. It says, so shall they fear the name of the Lord. See? Remember we read Proverbs 18 earlier. The righteous run to it and is safe. That lighthouse, that guidance. From the west and from in his glory, from the rising of the sun, from east to west, sun rising to east, sets in the west. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the spirit of Yahweh shall lift up a standard against him, a way to escape. That's that light, the truth, the wisdom, the knowledge is going to allow us to be able to escape the clutches of Satan like it's doing right now. When temptations and wickedness is about us right now, we can escape these things. The Lord said he's given us a way to escape. That's the wisdom. That's the spirit within us that give us the wisdom meet us in our thought, and we can escape these different things, the clutches of Satan. We can dodge the fiery darts of Satan even right now. How much more when the flood actually comes, when that levee break and the flood rushes in, the enemy coming down with great wrath. When that flood comes, bro, the Lord is going to save us, man. We ain't going to drown in this flood. Esau, Edom, your wrath and your great fucking sword that you possess. It says it gives direction, warning, and hope in darkness. In the same way, many people see God's message as guidance that helps them navigate confusion, suffering, and uncertainty. That's what Jacob's trouble is. Confusion. Because I'm always bring that word out. Trouble produce a mental agitation. Agitation goes into a structure. We just read it. I'm not gonna go back into it, but we just read it, man. That's why the wisdom and knowledge have to be upon you, because it's gonna be our stability in these times. It says you could express it like this: God's message is like a lighthouse, steady, visible in darkness, and guiding lost souls safely through life's storm, now and in the future. Or more poetically, when the world becomes foggy and violent like a restless sea, God's message stands like a lighthouse, unmoving, radiant, and calling the wandering home. That's us. Hebrew, passing through, right? Beyond. That's, these are some words that when you pull up the word Hebrew, these are some words that goes into that definition. You see? The past, right? But we're passing through. We're the ancient man passing through these different realms to be perfected, to be gods in the future. And we're wandering. We're wandering where? Home. We went into it yesterday, the word pilgrim. We went into it yesterday. And that's what the word pilgrim means. A person traveling to a holy place. And that's what we're doing. We're traveling. We're trying to wander home to Yahweh while Yahweh Shah. So that lighthouse is a beacon of light, which is unmoving, radiant, and calling the wandering home. The comparison works because both symbolize guidance, protection, truth in darkness, consistency, hope from a distance. See, the Lord he's at a distance right now, but he's on his way home. He's on his way to gather us. He's going to lift up a standard. He's going to do miracles for us. He's going to lift up a way to escape. See if I get that. Revelation 22. Revelation 22:16. I, Yahushua, have sent my angel to testify unto these things in the churches. I am the root and the offspring of Dawadah, David, and the bright and morning star. Yahushua is that lighthouse. Yahweh Yahushua is that lighthouse. There is our wisdom, our understanding. All right, and because what's coming to the earth is going to be great confusion. Man ain't gonna know which way to turn, who to believe. Everything they believed in is gonna crash. Everything they believed in is not gonna be able to save them in that day of darkness. What we believe in is gonna be able to save, and who we believe in is gonna be able to save us, and that's Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Because that whole time that was our light that we relied on. That was our stay. We rested in the bosom of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, man. So this truth is a lighthouse. It guides us. It gives us hope. Lighthouses also have things in it, man. When if you pull up on a lighthouse, it has things in it. They might have food there. You know what I'm saying? Things for safety. You know what I'm saying? Radios, like for signals, and you know what I'm saying, and different things of that. They have things for safety when you go to a lighthouse, man. It ain't just the building itself. There's things within that building that keep you safe. So it ain't just Yahweh's name, right? Because other niggas that's wicked got the name of the Lord, Yahweh, but it's the spirit. It's other things that's within the name that's aided unto our safety. You know what I'm saying? The Holy Spirit, right? Which is like our food. Yahweh Shai, right? Which is like unto our food and the water, the signals. The prayer is like the antenna or our signals, our radio. The prayer is like our radio. So there's different things within the lighthouse, which is Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, that structure. There's different things within Yahweh that also aids us. Like I said, prayer, the spirit, fasting, the church, and so forth, man. You got to have all of it in order for you to be able to weather the storm so you can understand. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. I'd like to give all honor, glory, infinite praise, and worship to our power. Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Raha HaKodash. Double honors to our apostle, elder bishops, great millstone, who well, peace, citation to the hopeful elect. Till next time, Abba Ball, Shalom, Shalom.